Fellas. Here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, everybody, we are live, and we are talking about the first episode of Chucky the series. This is our first
Yes.
episode of our Minisode.
Yay, Minisodes! We'll be coming at you live every Wednesday night at this time on these channels to see what America's favorite doll has gotten up to the night before. These minisodes will drop on the podcast feed the next morning. So if you're listening that way, hi, Alma. So if you're listening that way, don't come at us because we were drunk and these were live, so we didn't edit them.
Truly.
That's why they're live.
All right, well, let's get down into this. So the first episode, the title is Death by Misadventure, which was a great piece of dialogue, which we'll get to in a little while. But let's start with this question. Are we surprised that this was as good as it was? Because I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I was not surprised because, like, Chucky, Child's Play is one of those franchises we keep sleeping on because we're all like Michael and Freddy and Jason. But, like, this has been consistent aside from that weird reboot situation when they try to take it from Mitzi.
Right.
And he was clearly like, I still understand my assignment. Do you? Here's a series now.
Well, and what I really loved about this first episode was that it took what was successful in the first three films, or at least it's been so long since I've seen the third movie, so we'll leave that where it is. But the first two movies, where it took what worked so well from that, and then what worked so well with The Bride of Chucky and The Seed of Chucky, which are my favorites in the series, and kind of melded them together to give you this really good mix of slasher horror with some comedy and some really fun characters. I wasn't surprised either. And I do think that people sleep on this series, and I think it's because they get scared of the queerness. Because especially after Bride of Chucky, it gets super queer, super quick. And I love it.
I just want to rewind because I've done the whole series this year getting ready for this.
Right.
So I've done the whole franchise. And people shit on 3, but 3 is not as bad as people say it is. Like, I would put 3 up against, like, a mid-level Halloween or a mid-level Nightmare any day. And she probably kicked their ass, to be honest. And so I don't know why people are like, not that one. Plus, that one gave us, like, a black male character in this military school, which not a whole lot of franchises did that early. I mean, like, Nightmare did Kincaid, but, like, then they fixed that. The next one, because he was the first to die. So I was like, thank you for almost trying.
Yeah. I need to go back and catch that one because I've recently watched Bride of Chucky and I've recently watched Seed of Chucky. And then, of course, you've got like Cult of Chucky and Return of Chucky. Is that in that one?
Yeah. No, not Return. It's Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky.
Curse of Chucky. That's the one I was missing. Curse. All the Chuckies.
I started this like back before I could even read. And so like I lost my way somewhere because life. And so this year I was like, I'm going to do them all in order without the edited versions that are on TV. And so that's why they're hot and fresh, even though I fucked it up and did Cult and Curse inverted. Because sci-fi never airs them in the correct order. And how was I to know that?
It's so weird. Because it's hard. Like Cult of Chucky would be weird. Like I feel like when you started Cult of Chucky, where you're like, I missed something here. There's something not right.
Right. I was like, Andy's back, and we have flashbacks, and I feel like these flashbacks are from a movie I didn't see. And they were like, next is the one that we didn't show you first. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you set me up? Another weird thing about this franchise is you can always find 2 through the end, like which is Cult, yes, but never with 1. 1 is always elsewhere.
That's so weird.
Like Peacock has everything but 1 right now. If people wanted to catch up and rent the first Child's Play, and then like hop on that Peacock while you're doing Halloween Kills this week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get that free trial. Boop, boop, boop.
You gonna have that for a minute? You might as well.
All right. Well, let's get into our thoughts on this episode. So, my first question to you, Sharai, and I'm going to answer this too because I have thoughts. Which Devon Sawa character was the sexier Devon Sawa character? Because he played, little known fact, he played Logan and Lucas Wheeler, the father and the uncle.
It was not well known.
No, it wasn't well known. But I didn't know going into it. I was like, oh yeah. Wait a second.
No. So what happened was I saw Jake's dad first, and I was like, "Who did this? I thought we all were friends here. The fuck is happening? Is this 8 Mile?" And then he showed up as a twin brother, and I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry I got it, y'all."
I mean, I'm not going to turn down Devon Sawa with a little facial hair, but I definitely prefer the uncle.
No, like the dad was the dad Logan or Lucas? Logan. No, Lucas.
Lucas is the dad. Logan is the uncle.
Thank you. Lucas just there was something about Lucas the second he hopped out of his lube truck with his lube cover off. He just seemed like a miserable, awful person. And I was like, I don't want this. And he had like the weird greasy beard. And I was like, he pissed somebody off. This transformation is great. Whoever did this transformation, kudos to y'all for pulling that off.
Right.
Because y'all made Devon Sawa unattractive for like 4 minutes.
Which I just want to say, I was gonna when I said I wouldn't turn either of them down. That's not based on his character. His character is trash, but just pure looks. You know, I'm not gonna be like get out of my bed.
That look gave me the character, which is why I wasn't about it. And I was like, I didn't come here for this. I saw Devin on social media the other day. He could still get it. Let's all just own that. He could still get it. Why 100%. Are we doing this? And then his brother walked in like, okay, I'll allow this. This is good. This is I'm here for this.
Yes, I know. I love that they were playing the same character, or not the same character, but the two brothers, Logan and Lucas, and especially since clearly, spoiler alert, everyone, it only lasted for 1 episode, so it wasn't like too much of it. You know what I mean?
Which I kind of love. We don't need more of that character, but like that could be its own podcast. I'm gonna move us over to the needle drops because each one was a fucking mood. Like it opens with Billie Eilish's Copycat and made me love Billie Eilish again. Like I'm every other day for her. And like Madeline Duke, How Villains Are Made. I was like, what's this? I need this.
That was one of my favorites for sure.
It's my new anthem because I always say people are pushing me to the end. And then of course, like by the time Kim Petras' personal hell started, I was just like shimmying and I was like, I'm gonna kill some bullies. I was in it. I don't know who's music supervising, but like, get it.
That we need a soundtrack stat. But I will say it was also like perfect. The How Villains Are Made was perfectly placed to when Lucas is going up and destroying
Jake.
I think his name was destroying Jake's sculptures that he's worked so hard for. And I was like, you are an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Fully 100% asshole. And I was like, this is exactly how villains are made. People being assholes.
Personal hell also kicked down when personal hell was happening. And so like I feel like they're just gonna play with us all season and I live for that because I love music. I also love it when it's a bunch of like badass films. Like give me more of that.
Yes. Speaking of Jake, I, of course, am all game for us having a gay protagonist in this series. I am super excited to see where it goes with this. At first, I was a little nervous because I was like, please don't tell me this is another one that's like, he's made fun of for being gay, but he's not really gay. Don't worry about that. No, he is actually gay. And I was like, thank God. Yeah. Don Mancini doesn't do me wrong. I should never question him.
Shouldn't have.
But I love it, and I love that that's happening. I love that he's knows who he is at such a young age. I think it's important for parents to see because I'm so sick of hearing he's too young to know he's queer, or he's too young to know he's trans, or blah 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 blah. Like you didn't know at a young age that you were straight or cis or whatever.
Yeah. I also just really love the way that character was being treated by like the family and society because so often it dips into fucking trauma and it doesn't have to be. And so like while these people are awful, you're sort of laughing. Like when the uncle's like, it's like being left-handed or vegan. And I'm like, why is that the thing that's being fucking said? And so I love it when we have examples of things that aren't like instant trauma porn because that's hard to watch. Mm-hmm. And we keep getting that for some reason. I don't know who wants that and why.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some humor mixed in with the jabs that he's given. Specifically, the jabs about him being gay. Now, there's some other jabs that are given later on in the script, like about him being poor and about him being trying to sell the Chucky doll. Those were not as funny, but I think that's not you had to have some punch in there. You had to have a few real good stabs, especially from Lexi. Ugh.
Most bullies aren't clever. So had she been funny, I would have been like, whoa, I found an issue. While we're talking about Jake and Lexi, I just want to say I love it when we cast age appropriate, because it's really hard to watch bitches who are as old as I am roll over, hungover, and be like, I'm in middle school. I don't feel bad for them. I don't empathize with them. Like the kid who's playing Jake, whose name I just fucking forgot because I'm a mess. But the kid who's playing Jake is age appropriate, and it shows because they get to be fucking kids, and so they're doing kid shit. And I'm just like, I get this.
Yes, very much a la like Stranger Things. I feel like a lot of television is getting that right now. Not everyone, but some of them.
Yeah. No, and it makes things more adorable. Like I'm rooting for Devin's podcast. I want it to be real. I want a real true crime podcast. So
that was a really interesting way in the very top of the show to link the the film franchise with this TV series through his podcast, and him saying like, oh, this, the mayor wants you to think this town is beautiful and paradise and heaven, but really no, we're crazy and weird things happen. So that was really a good way to link those two together. And of course, I'm always team podcast. Clearly.
I would love to have Devin on as a guest. I would.
Oh my God, yes.
We haven't done any of the Child's Plays, so perhaps he could help us figure out the history.
This 12-year-old helping us out. Thanks, guys. Right? Junior is I feel like he is good. They're going to take him in a very interesting way. Just the way that he's so complex already, and it's only the first episode, because he doesn't agree with the way Lexi is treating Jake, but he also kind of makes fun of Jake in his own way, specifically about being gay. It makes me wonder, is there something that you're not telling us, Junior?
I wonder that, and I also wonder how much of it is I can pick on my family, but you can't pick on my family, as well as I'm an awful person, but I'm not going to be an awful person. I'll let other people do the awful bidding for me. So that's why I'm trying to figure out where he's going to land in that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And that's why I'm really excited to see where they take his character. Because also, and at the end of the episode, when Jake has to move in with his family, he's very uncomfortable by this, very uncomfortable. So I think we're going to see some interesting layers come out of Junior as we continue through this 9 more episodes.
I think so. That's some damn good script analysis. Yes. I also just want to say that I tweeted it last night, and I still stand by it. I hope Chucky cuts kids this time, because the bullies are fucking fierce, and they deserve it.
God, these middle schoolers. Granted, when I was in middle school, it was pretty bad too, but
No.
We didn't have Facebook and the internet and GoFundMe's back then.
If a bitch had started a GoFundMe for me in the 2 years I did get to go to public school, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here today. We would not be talking. And so I hope Chucky does that for Jake. That's what a good buddy does.
Agreed. 100%.
I also we have to talk about Chucky opening this library, the talent show, before we shut this down.
The library is open.
It's fucking open. Part of the reason we love Chucky is because he's sarcastic and he's funny, and he's just a cruel little villain. And it's just funny to watch a doll say fuck 90 times, which I'm happy that he gets to say fuck, because I was worried about that on Sci-Fi and USA. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how are you going to have Chucky on broadcast TV? I've seen what you did with the movies. You cut all the good stuff. What you going to do?
Yeah, I'm sure that's why they have it so late. It doesn't start till 9 Central, so 10 o'clock Eastern. Yeah.
I meant to start a fuck count, but I just didn't, because I was having my best life both times I watched it. But hopefully next week I'll be less a fangirl, and I can be 5 fucks were given last night. Thank you, Mr. Mancini.
But I love that he was reading everyone to filth. He started with Lexi, of course, because Lexi deserved it. Yeah. Because she went in on Jake, who's just sitting in the audience, watching his little crush on stage play the piano. That's fine. Let him do that. But then she has to go in and like all this, and then Chucky calls her out with her phone, which I was like, oh, there's pictures of this boy, Junior. Oh, and this other guy, and it's like, boop.
No, which actually plays into your theory, because what if her and Junior are just like a face value couple and not a real couple?
Oh, that's true. True.
Because everybody has arrangements now. Everybody.
Or what if, she's not getting what she needs as a middle schooler? That's weird. I shouldn't say that. Never mind. Take it back. She's not getting the attention she wants from Junior, so she goes to this other guy. Maybe, yeah.
I could see that. And I'm here for that. But also, like, I'm ready for Chucky to start handling bullies.
Same. I want to know. I want to know who Bree, who is Logan's wife, who was she on the phone with? Because she's cheating. She cheated with somebody. I'm wondering if it's Tiffany.
I would love that, because we definitely Jennifer Tilly in, and we had to get her in right now. Like, Agreed. Yesterday was perfect, but at the end of it, I was like, where was Jennifer? And so I know we can't just have everything instantly, because then, like, what are we going to do for 9 more seasons? But always right. Jennifer, always. Well,
an interesting moment, too, and I want to get your thoughts on this. So at the very end of the episode, when they went and did more flashback to, what's the serial killer's name? Charles
Lee Ray?
Charles Lee Wright. As a kid, I'm curious how they're going to pull that more into the series, because they keep flashing back to that. That last scene when someone goes up to the woman in the mirror, it's Charles Lee Wright as a kid. His parents get murdered, and that's what spirals him out of control.
I've always wanted to know who would raise Charles Lee Ray to be the person that we have come to know as Chucky, because literally the man went from, oh no, the cops are here, to I'm going to inhabit this body, and then I'm going to go do this magic to get out of this body into children. And I'm just like, good sir, it has been a long time in this doll's body, and now you have a whole situation. Why? What? Who are you? Who raised you?
True. I'm really curious how they do with this, what they do with this backstory, because they added that. Because as far as I know, that wasn't introduced in the films about his parents being murdered when he was a kid, was it?
I don't remember it. Like, we never get into his backstory, because we come in and he's robbing a place and it goes sideways, and then like we are here. And so I'm excited to see if these are like old notes or great vamp notes. I don't know, but I've always wondered. But yeah, I think Alma agrees with us about like possibly Jennifer Tilly, I'm imagining, on the other end of that phone.
I think it might have been a woman.
I don't know what's going on with Bree, because she was like, what do you mean secrets?
That I would die if this whole family was queer besides Devon Sawa.
Which one? What?
Logan. If Logan's the only straight guy, and it's like, because you got Bree with a woman, you got Junior, we don't know where he's at, and then you got Jake, who we already know. So like, I would love that.
I would live. We also just need to rewind, because we had the first kill of the season, and it was a damn good one. It was a damned good one, because we did not like Jake's father, who was Lucas, and he kept drinking, and Chucky's like, and and so he literally vomits on him and electrocutes him, which is probably the most creative kill we're gonna see on like network television, or basic cable, I should say. It's not network, it's DiGiorno.
Someone else brought this up on Twitter that I saw. I can't remember who tweeted it. If you did, let us know. But did you notice that when they wheel Lucas out, the injury to his eye is very similar to the injury to Chucky's eye in one of the films where he gets electrocuted or something, or he gets exploded or whatever.
I want to say that's Cult or Curse, but also like I binge these shits, and so like they are all one. They are united.
Yeah, I was like, that's an interesting. Oh, and I didn't know this, because now I want to go back and watch it. But apparently, Don Mancini tweeted today that one of the last few shots was inspired by The Exorcist, and I was like, I want to know which one that is. It doesn't come to mind right now, but I was drinking and I'm still drinking, so
I'm always drinking. But yeah, I'm gonna watch it for a third time. I'm not ashamed of that.
Of course. I think it's on DVD like stat, so I can get the whole series and binge it every year.
I want to mainline it. It's a good thing we didn't get screeners, because I would just be like, I can't talk to anybody for 10 weeks. I've seen it all.
Truly. All right. So we're going to try something a little. Did you have another note?
Yeah, because you mentioned
Go ahead.
Twitter, and we have not mentioned
Yes.
how Bobby Torres won Twitter last night. If you don't catch up with Bobby Likes a Spooky, that's a YouTube channel for our friend Bobby Torres, who tweeted after Chucky slapped Jake, "What did the 5 fingers say to the face?" And I died in my room. Because it wasn't supposed to be funny. It's not. It doesn't have to be funny. We love Jake. That was not. But it was just the way that like Chucky just like backhanded him. That all of us as a community lost our shit and fell out furniture and had to run right again.
Chucky was not having it.
He should have smacked, and it's the second time he got smacked that night, and so that is not funny. But also, when Chucky smacks somebody, that's just a good time. I don't care who it is.
So, okay, we're going to try something a little different with our minisodes this year. So, instead of doing hot takes, Sharai and I, and if we have a guest, we'll let them do it as well. We're going to give you our tops and bottoms for this week's episode. Our top moment and our bottom moment. So, my top moment was when Devin came over and sat with Jake at lunch, and Jake was listening to his podcast, and he like fully freaked out, like tried to like hide it. It was so cute. I loved it. It was like, and then I can't wait to see where this friendship goes. But you know, as we know, Chucky is jealous, so
Chucky
it could be rough. Could be rough for Devin. I don't. Yeah.
Chucky is that bitch, and he got new hair right now, and so Jake better notice him.
Let's keep our fingers crossed for Devin, y'all. Keep our fingers crossed for Devin.
I have 2 favorite moments. One, of course, is when Chucky's reading the auditorium, because that's just a damn good time. I could live in that moment for another 3 hours and not bat an eye.
I want a whole episode of that Donovan scene.
Right? Like, where are those outtakes? Will that be on the Blu-ray? Can I pre-order the Blu-ray already? But my second one is of course when Chucky smacked Jake. It wasn't it sparked so much joy for me. It changed my whole perspective on life. I would join the Chucky cult now. I would.
I think that was the first time when he slapped him that we really got. Oh, this is the Chucky that we remember. This is the Chucky. He ain't changed. He's still rough around the edges. He gonna slap you when you need to be slapped.
Oh, I felt Chucky was in that the whole time. Like the spirit compelled him to do everything he did, everything he almost did, and everything he will do.
Well, I was so hoping he was going to get Lexi in that classroom. I was so hoping. Anyway,
that's my bottom moment. That's
okay,
my bottom moment.
You go ahead with yours, and I'll go with mine.
Okay, my bottom is that Chucky was interrupted before he could clear that bitch. So congrats on that actor and that team for making a villain that makes us side with Chucky. Because normally we're like, oh no, I hope somebody lives, and I'm like, clear it out, clear all these bitches, Chucky, do it.
Right. As long as Jake lives, and Devin, hopefully, but we'll see.
Yeah.
My least favorite moment, and I get that it was necessary, especially for characterization. It was just kind of rough for me to watch when Jake's dad hit him after he said that everyone knows he's gay. I was like, that was just kind of. I mean, not granted, it was just a difficult moment for me to watch, but very much needed for the script and the plot. And Jake's dad, Lucas, got his desserts, so
which is why it's a great kill.
Oh, 100%. And it happens like 5 minutes after that happened. So I was like, okay. Don wasn't going to let me sit in this moment for a long time. He was just, let's get it done.
And I think that it also helps us not mourn this character. Because, like, if he hadn't been a shitty dad, Jake would be sad. We'd be like, well, this is going to be a depressing show. But I feel like on some level, Jake knows things are going to be better now that dad is gone. Because when you lose a shitty parent, you have that initial shock. But you're, at the same time, like, my life is going to get so much better. Yeah.
Yes. So also, now we're going to talk about what we're looking forward to this season.
I got a few. Clearly, yes, Alma, he will not be missed. He will not.
You're not invited to the party, Lucas.
You can't sit with us, Lucas. Send your twin brother in, though.
Please.
Seeing 2 Devin Sawas taught me a lot about myself, and I will be unpacking that weekly. But things I'm looking forward to in the show. Clearly, Miss Jennifer Tilly needs to join us immediately, ASAPly, right now and tonight. But also, I want to know about this impending staircase death. Those are some gorgeous stairs, and we know Chucky loves to push a bitch.
That's true. That's true. Because he can't throw nobody. I mean, he's Chucky. You got to push him or trip him or something.
Right? We found out last night he can definitely hit him in the face, though. So you can't catch Chucky's hands.
That's true, but you got to be holding him up here, though.
People make that mistake. They all make that mistake. They pick him up, and he's like...
They do. I'm looking forward to more great one-liners from Chucky and reading some bitches down because you know it's going to continue to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm also really excited, like you said, Tiffany, Mrs. Jennifer Tilly, who we love, and I'm excited they brought back Andy Barclay, played by Alex Vincent. He was the voice on the phone, and I'm sure he's going to be back at some point too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, 100%. He's in like the trailer. Like they brought back the whole family, which is a thing I love, and another reason why I'm happy that we have the creator back with the creator's work. Because I don't like when we remove people from their shit for obvious reasons.
Right.
But I love that because like Brad's daughter Fiona is now part of the Chucky family, and she's also back. We might have remembered her from I think it was the end of Cult. I think that was the last one. Mm-hmm. I'm probably wrong, but I think it was the end of Cult.
Thank you, Sci-Fi.
Her and if Sci-Fi could they shoot together, I would know what I'm talking about. But like she rode off with Jennifer and Tiffany in the car as Chucky inhabited a woman for the first time. And I love that. I love that. And also she looks just like her fucking dad did when he started making these movies. And so that's uncomfortable for everybody. And I love it.
I'm also really excited to see how they play with morality with Jake, especially when they start attacking these bullies. Like, is Jake gonna start helping Chucky? Mm-hmm. Question mark, or is he gonna fight against Chucky, or a little bit of both, depending on who we're talking about? Like, also top marks for our science teacher. I loved her.
She was real. She was like, Lexi, sit your ass down. I'll be back. And Lexi's like, my mom does Pilates with the principal. And she was like, I will be back for you because you're going to be a sad life bitch. This is me as a teacher.
Right. And I'm curious how much those Pilates would have helped her in that situation. Because that principal did not look like she was going to be on her side when they walked into that room and interrupted Chucky.
That principal had the look of a woman who's gone rounds with this child already. And just wants to go home and drink about it because doesn't want to do it again.
Right.
No.
100%. So I love her. I love Jake, and I love Devin. And I'm interested to see where they take Junior. Those are my four, and of course Jennifer Tilly. That goes without saying.
Listen, Jennifer's the reason for the season.
100%.
Where she goes, I go. And so I'm ready for her to join us. I don't know how many episodes we'll have her, but I hope it's a lot. And I hope that Tiffany is also there because that's just a damn good time. Truly.
All right, everyone. Well, those are our thoughts on the first episode. We got 9 more to go, y'all. It's going to be a wild ride.
Right?
Thanks for joining us. Next up, we do have a regular episode coming out covering Sweetheart, which will be dropping Monday morning.
Yes. So if you don't know where a podcast we are, if you do know where a podcast, that's not news for you, but the movie might be. So have a great time. Maybe.
It's on Netflix, so go watch it.
Right? It's a whole Netflix, so it's $3.99. And after that, you can catch us back here next Wednesday as we see what Chucky gets up to next week. I'm hoping again that I'll not be fangirling as hard so I can start doing a fuck count because I want to keep us honest. Continuity matters.
Truly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So make sure you watch it next Tuesday on Sci-Fi or USA at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. So you can roll in here spoiler free.
Boom. Thank you, Alma. We love you.
Love you, Alma. We should see you on here soon.
I'll count with you. Yes, Alma, join us some week.
Yes.
All right. As always, everyone, make sure you stay fierce out there.
Bye.